Well, let's discuss this further now with US political analyst Robin de Voeters, who joins me now live. Ooh, so we haven't seen this video yet. It's expected to be released today, Friday. Just, you know, your early thoughts on this story, developing story from the US, which has so many echoes, obviously, of the tragedy that happened with George Floyd.
Yes, well, thank you for having me. Clearly, it's a tragedy, and what's being increasingly clear is that this isn't stopping. It's not the first, and it certainly isn't going to be the last unless strong actions are taken to reverse this trend.
And why isn't it stopping? We just remember so clearly, the fallout, the aftermath of George Floyd's killing, the Black Lives Matters, the protests, and here we are. Possibly, again, I repeat, we haven't seen the footage,
Yes.
And here we are again.
Here we are again. As you've pointed out, the footage will be released tonight, U.S. time. So, I mean, we certainly can't make predictions, but since everybody seems to say that the video shows an appalling use of brutality and force, we can assume that is the case. There needs to be there is already some sort of reckoning in terms of the mentality in the U.S. about police brutality, but I think the narrative has changed. It used to be a call to defund the police, but now it's being reshaped as to refund the police, to instead provide more training, to provide more support, to explain how to behave in certain circumstances, in certain situations. Defunding the police is certainly not going to be the answer. A police force is necessary in all democracies, but it needs to be better shaped and better funded so that these incidents don't happen.
And President Joe Biden, well, he has called for any protest to be peaceful, but
Yes.
These 5 former US police officers, they've been charged with murder. What do you think the reaction will be? Will it be similar, do you think, and even as big and also global, because this didn't stay in the US, as what we saw with George Floyd, and we're seeing the mother there speaking?
For sure, there is going to be anger. There is already anger, and that is normal. But as President Biden said, we can show anger in a peaceful way. Violence is never the answer. So it's by uniting behind a cause, but in a peaceful way, that the message will be delivered in a more constructive way. The fear is that if there is violence, it might be picked up politically, saying one way or another that violence engenders violence and so on, and therefore that's why more guns are needed and so on, which is never the answer. And of course, gun reform is also necessary, even though here we're talking about police force. So we are hoping that it will be peaceful. I think there is, as I said, a change of narrative in the past few years since the George Floyd killing. So hopefully there will be a more adapted reaction to this tragedy.
Robin de Voeters, a US political analyst from Democrats Abroad in Belgium. Thank you so much for speaking to us today at TRT World. Thank you.